Before starting to listen to this book, please subscribe to our channel to support this channel and give the chance to upload more books for bookworms. Untangle Your Heart, A Guide to Letting Go of What Holds You Back. Written by Adrian Blake. Audiobook by ReadRealm. Introduction: The Power of Letting Go. We all have something we're holding on to. Whether it's an old wound, a painful relationship, or the weight of past regrets, these emotional burdens have a way of tying up our hearts and minds. We carry them with us, sometimes without even realizing how much they're shaping our thoughts, actions, and even our future. But what if there was a way to untangle those knots, to release the hold that the past has on us, and to step into a life of freedom? That's what this book is all about, showing you how to let go of what's holding you back. Over the years, I've had the privilege of watching countless people transform their lives through the simple yet powerful act of letting go. One woman, Emma, came to me deeply connected to the pain of her past, years of betrayal by someone she loved. She thought she couldn't move on, that she would always be anchored to that hurt. But over time, through self-reflection, forgiveness, and practical exercises, Emma slowly untangled her heart. She let go of the anger and regret, and in doing so, she found peace and freedom she hadn't thought possible. Stories like Emma's are what this book is about, the power of releasing what no longer serves us. Letting go is often seen as a passive act, something we do when we've reached the end of our rope. But in reality, it is one of the most active and empowering choices we can make for our emotional and mental well-being. Letting go isn't about forgetting, it's about freeing ourselves from the grip of the past so that we can create the future we desire. It's about shedding limiting beliefs, unburdening our hearts, and stepping into a new chapter of growth. In this book, you'll discover not only the why behind letting go, but also the how. I'll walk you through practical steps, exercises, and insights to help you release the emotional baggage and false beliefs that have been weighing you down. Whether you're letting go of pain, fear, or the need for control, you'll find a path to freedom. Let's untangle your heart together. Part 1: Understanding the Need to Let Go. Chapter 1: The Burden of Holding On. We often don't realize how much we carry with us until the weight becomes too heavy to bear. The unresolved emotions, past hurts, grudges, and toxic attachments we hold on to can entangle our hearts, leaving us feeling stuck and weighed down. These emotional burdens accumulate over time, growing in size and severity, subtly impacting our daily lives. Let's take a moment to examine the emotional clutter that can distort our sense of peace and well-being. Emotional clutter: how unresolved emotions, past hurts, and grudges weigh us down. The human heart is designed for connection and release, yet many of us are taught to suppress emotions, to ignore the things that hurt, and to pretend everything is fine. Unresolved emotions like anger, sadness, and disappointment can accumulate over time and create a mental fog. When we refuse to deal with these emotions, they fester in the background, clouding our thoughts and distorting our sense of self. Every time we avoid processing an emotional wound, we carry its weight into the future, often without even realizing it. Consider the metaphor of a cluttered room. When we leave things scattered, it becomes harder to find what we truly need, and the space feels smaller, more confined. Similarly, emotional clutter blocks our ability to move freely in life, preventing us from experiencing the full range of joy, peace, and contentment that's available to us. Toxic attachments: identifying unhealthy attachments to people, situations, and past events. Toxic attachments are another form of emotional bondage. These attachments can take many forms: an unhealthy relationship, a job that drains us, or an old identity tied to pain and loss. Often, we cling to these attachments because they feel familiar, even if they no longer serve us. These attachments keep us stuck in cycles of emotional dependence, feeding on our insecurities and fears. Toxic relationships are particularly insidious. They might offer temporary comfort or a sense of validation, but they ultimately hold us back from becoming our authentic selves. Whether it's the lingering resentment from a past betrayal or the need to please someone who doesn't have our best interests at heart, these attachments create a false sense of safety that keeps us locked in a limiting narrative. Fear of change, why we cling to the familiar even if it's holding us back. Humans are creatures of habit. We often cling to the familiar because it feels safer, even if that familiarity is rooted in pain or dissatisfaction. It's the fear of the unknown, the uncertainty of what lies ahead, that keeps us anchored to situations and people that no longer contribute to our growth. Change feels like a threat, so we hold on to the old ways of thinking and being, even though they might be keeping us stagnant. But change is inevitable. Life is constantly shifting, evolving, and presenting new opportunities. The fear of change is simply a reaction to the discomfort of stepping out of our comfort zones. Letting go requires us to embrace the unknown, to trust that what's waiting on the other side of our fears will bring greater fulfillment. The hidden costs, how holding on to the past impacts our present and future. Holding on to the past has a cost, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Our relationships suffer when we are burdened by unresolved emotions. We may become defensive, distant, or reactive, unable to form genuine connections with others because we are constantly living in the shadow of past hurts. In our careers, we may hold ourselves back, afraid to take risks or step into new opportunities because of self-doubt or fear of failure. Holding on also impacts our happiness. We become so consumed with what's behind us that we miss the beauty of the present moment and the potential of what lies ahead. The constant revisiting of past wounds drains our energy, leaving us exhausted and disconnected from the joy of the now. Chapter 2: The Science of Letting Go. While the act of letting go may feel like an abstract concept, it is deeply rooted in science. Our brains, bodies, and emotions are all interconnected, and the process of releasing what holds us back can have a profound impact on our physical and mental health. The biology of attachment, a brief look into the brain's response to attachments and how releasing them can reset neural pathways. Attachment is a deeply ingrained biological response. From the moment we are born, we form attachments, first to our caregivers, then to people, places, and experiences. These attachments shape the way we view the world and our place in it. However, when attachments become unhealthy, they can trigger the brain's stress response, keeping us in a constant state of tension and emotional reactivity. When we let go of these attachments, the brain undergoes a process of recalibration. Releasing old emotional wounds allows the brain's neural pathways to reset, making room for healthier patterns of thought and behavior. The brain's plasticity, or neuroplasticity, enables us to form new habits, ways of thinking, and emotional responses once we free ourselves from the emotional baggage of the past. Emotional freedom and neuroplasticity, how emotional release impacts mental health and physical well-being. Emotional release is not just a mental process, it's also a physical one. Research has shown that unresolved emotions can manifest physically in the body, leading to stress, anxiety, and even chronic health conditions. By releasing these emotions, we not only lighten our mental load, but we also improve our physical health. Neuroplasticity plays a key role in this process. As we release old patterns of thought and behavior, our brains form new, healthier connections. This leads to a shift in how we respond to challenges and opportunities. Our emotional health improves, and so does our overall well-being, as we move from a place of constant stress and tension to one of peace and calm. Psychological theories, insights from psychology, such as attachment theory, and how they apply to the art of letting go. Attachment theory, developed by psychologist John Bowlby, explains the deep bonds humans form with others, especially in early childhood. These attachments influence our emotional responses and how we connect with others throughout life. However, unhealthy attachments, such as those formed in toxic relationships or traumatic experiences, can lead to a host of emotional struggles. Understanding attachment theory can provide valuable insight into why we cling to certain relationships or experiences, even when they harm us. By becoming aware of these patterns, we can take steps to break free from unhealthy attachments and practice emotional release. The power of forgiveness, a scientific and spiritual exploration of how forgiveness leads to emotional liberation. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools we have for letting go. Psychologically, forgiveness allows us to release the grip of anger, resentment, and bitterness. On a spiritual level, forgiveness opens our hearts, freeing us from the chains of the past and creating space for peace and healing. Studies have shown that forgiveness not only improves mental health but also has tangible physical benefits, such as lowering blood pressure and reducing stress. Letting go of grudges and forgiving others, along with forgiving ourselves, leads to emotional liberation, helping us move forward with lighter hearts and minds. In the following chapters, we will dive deeper into the practice of letting go, exploring how we can release the emotional clutter, toxic attachments, and false beliefs that hold us back. Through understanding the science behind emotional freedom and applying the tools shared in this book, you will be able to untangle your heart and embrace a life of peace, growth, and transformation. Part 2: The Emotional and Mental Process of Letting Go. Chapter 3: Acknowledging What Holds You Back. Letting go is not a one-time event, it's a process. It starts with the crucial first step, acknowledgement. Before we can release what no longer serves us, we must first face it. This chapter will guide you through recognizing the emotions, memories, beliefs, and relationships that keep you tethered to the past. By identifying these areas, we can begin the journey toward freedom and emotional healing. Facing your truth: how to identify the things you are holding on to. Many of us live in a state of denial about what is holding us back. We may avoid confronting painful emotions, repressed memories, or toxic relationships, thinking that ignoring them will make them go away. However, these unresolved issues don't disappear on their own. They accumulate, festering in the background of our minds and hearts, making it harder for us to fully live in the present. Facing your truth means taking an honest look at the things that weigh you down. These could be lingering emotions from past trauma, unmet expectations, or unhealthy attachments to people who no longer align with your personal growth. Identifying these obstacles is the first step to freeing yourself from them. It can be uncomfortable to face these truths, but it is through this discomfort that healing begins. Self-reflection exercises, prompts and questions for deep self-awareness. Self-reflection is a powerful tool in the process of letting go. By asking yourself the right questions, you can uncover the emotions and beliefs that are keeping you stuck. Here are a few prompts to guide your self-awareness. 1. What past events still trigger strong emotional reactions in me? 2. Are there people or situations I feel emotionally attached to, even though they cause me pain or distress? 3. What beliefs do I hold about myself or the world that limit my ability to grow? 4. How do I feel about change? Do I resist it, and if so, why? Take time to reflect on these questions and write down your responses. You may be surprised at what you discover about yourself, and these insights will form the foundation for the next steps in your journey. Common emotional traps: how guilt, regret, shame, and fear keep us trapped in the past. Our emotional traps are often deeply embedded in the past, manifesting as guilt, regret, shame, and fear. These emotions prevent us from moving forward by keeping our focus on what went wrong, rather than on what can go right. Guilt is a heavy burden we carry when we believe we have wronged others or failed to live up to our own moral standards. It often keeps us tethered to people or situations we feel responsible for, even when staying is no longer healthy. Regret holds us captive by keeping us locked in the past, fixated on missed opportunities or mistakes. It prevents us from seeing the lessons in those experiences and moving forward with greater wisdom. Shame is often tied to our sense of self-worth, making us believe that who we are is inherently flawed. This belief keeps us from letting go of the negative self-perceptions that weigh us down. Fear of failure, of rejection, of the unknown, keeps us clinging to the familiar, even if it's limiting or painful. The fear of what we might lose often outweighs the hope of what we could gain, keeping us stuck. Identifying these emotional traps is essential. Once we are aware of them, we can begin to challenge them, giving us the freedom to let go and create a healthier, more positive emotional landscape. Reframing negative beliefs, how to challenge and replace limiting beliefs. Our beliefs shape our reality. If we believe that we are unworthy of love, success, or happiness, we will unconsciously sabotage our chances of achieving those things. Reframing negative beliefs requires us to challenge these limiting thoughts and replace them with empowering ones. For instance, if you believe, "I'm not good enough," you might replace this with, "I am worthy of love and success." Reframing takes practice, but it can create a profound shift in your life, helping you to let go of self-doubt and limiting beliefs. Chapter 4: The Power of Surrender. Surrender is a concept that often feels counterintuitive. We are taught to fight for what we want, to control our destiny, and to hold tight to the things that matter most. However, surrendering doesn't mean giving up or resigning ourselves to fate. It is about releasing the need to control everything and allowing life to unfold naturally. In this chapter, we'll explore what surrender means in the context of letting go and how it can help us find emotional liberation. What does surrender mean? Distinguishing surrender from giving up or resignation. Surrender is often misunderstood. People think that surrendering means giving up or being passive, but in reality, it is about recognizing that there are things beyond our control. It's about accepting that we cannot force outcomes or control others, and that some things are simply not meant for us. When we surrender, we release the need for control and allow ourselves to be present with what is. It's a courageous act of trust, letting go of the illusion of certainty and opening ourselves up to the possibilities of life. Surrender is not about weakness, it's about strength, the strength to face the unknown and trust that we will be okay, no matter what happens. Surrendering to the present, how embracing the present moment can liberate you from past pain. One of the most profound ways to practice surrender is by embracing the present moment. So much of our suffering comes from living in the past or worrying about the future. When we focus on what happened before or what might happen later, we miss out on the beauty and potential of the present. By surrendering to the present moment, we free ourselves from the emotional baggage of the past. We stop carrying the weight of past pain and start living with a renewed sense of clarity, peace, and joy. Practices for letting go, breathing techniques, mindfulness, and meditation to help the surrender process. There are practical techniques that can help us in the surrender process. Breathing exercises, mindfulness, and meditation are effective tools for letting go. Here's a simple breathing technique you can try. Take a deep breath in for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for a count of 6. Focus on your breath and release any tension or negative thoughts with each exhale. Continue for 5 to 10 minutes, allowing yourself to fully relax into the present moment. This practice helps calm the mind and allows you to surrender to the now, letting go of any worries, fears, or distractions. The role of trust, how to cultivate trust in yourself and life to let go of control. Trust is at the heart of surrender. We must learn to trust ourselves and the life process. Trusting yourself means knowing that you are capable of navigating whatever comes your way, even if the path is uncertain. Trusting life means believing that things will unfold in their own time, and that there is a greater plan at work. Cultivating trust requires vulnerability. It requires letting go of the need to control every detail of your life and embracing the uncertainty that comes with letting go. Releasing expectations, how to stop clinging to specific outcomes and learn to go with the flow of life. Expectations are another form of control. When we hold on too tightly to specific outcomes, we create disappointment and frustration when things don't go as planned. Letting go of rigid expectations allows us to go with the flow of life, embracing whatever comes our way. It's about being open to surprises and trusting that life will bring what we need when we need it. Chapter 5: Letting Go of People. People can be the most challenging things to let go of. Whether it's a past lover, a toxic friend, or a family member, emotional attachments to others can be deeply rooted and difficult to release. This chapter will explore the emotional complexities of letting go of people and offer guidance on how to navigate the pain of release. The pain of emotional attachments, understanding the depth of emotional bonds and why it's hard to let go of certain people. Emotional attachments to others are one of the most powerful forces in our lives. We form deep bonds with people, sometimes to the point where it feels impossible to let go, even when those relationships are no longer healthy. These emotional connections are often fueled by love, dependency, or fear of loneliness. Letting go of someone you care about can feel like a loss of a part of yourself. It's not just the person you're releasing, but the future you imagined with them. However, staying in unhealthy relationships can prevent both parties from growing. By letting go, you make room for new connections that better align with your values and growth. Signs it's time to let go: how to recognize when a relationship is no longer serving your growth or well-being. One of the hardest things to do is recognize when a relationship is no longer healthy. But there are signs. If you find yourself constantly feeling drained, unsupported, or unloved, it may be time to reassess the relationship. Relationships should add to your life, not subtract from it. Ask yourself, does this relationship contribute positively to my life? Am I constantly feeling anxious or unfulfilled in this relationship? Am I growing or being held back by this person? Recognizing these signs can help you find the strength to release a relationship that no longer serves your highest good. Boundaries and self-love: the importance of setting boundaries and how it's essential for emotional freedom. Setting boundaries is essential for emotional freedom. When we don't establish clear boundaries, we allow others to drain our energy and violate our emotional space. Boundaries are an act of self-love. They define what we are willing to tolerate and protect our well-being. Start by identifying what your boundaries are in relationships. What behaviors are unacceptable to you? What do you need in order to feel loved and respected? Setting boundaries is a powerful step in letting go of unhealthy relationships and creating space for healthier connections. Healing after release: steps to heal from the emotional wounds of a breakup, loss, or toxic relationship. After letting go of a person, there is often emotional healing that needs to take place. Healing from the loss of a relationship takes time and self-compassion. Begin by allowing yourself to grieve. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment. Practice self-care and seek support when needed. Healing is a process, and it's okay to take it one day at a time. Building new relationships: how letting go creates space for healthier connections. Once you've let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Letting go of toxic or stagnant relationships frees up emotional energy that can be invested in new, supportive connections. As you continue to grow and evolve, the people you attract into your life will reflect your new energy and values. Letting go is not about forgetting or erasing the past. It's about making peace with it, releasing what doesn't serve you, and opening up space for a more authentic and fulfilling future. The emotional and mental process of letting go is one of the most transformative journeys you can embark on, and it all begins with acknowledgement and trust. Part 3: The Practices and Tools for Letting Go. Chapter 6: Mindfulness and Presence. Understanding mindfulness: how being present in the moment helps to release emotional baggage. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of the current moment without judgment. It is about noticing your thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise, but not allowing them to control you. By embracing mindfulness, we gain the ability to observe our emotions and reactions without being swept away by them, allowing us to release the emotional baggage we have been carrying for years. Mindfulness helps us recognize patterns that keep us stuck in negative emotional loops. By shifting our focus to the present, we stop rehashing old wounds and stop projecting our fears or past hurts onto our current experiences. This awareness allows us to make conscious decisions about how we respond to situations, instead of reacting out of habit or unresolved emotions. Mindfulness practice can help us acknowledge when we are holding on to pain, resentment, or fear, giving us the opportunity to consciously release those emotions. It is an essential tool in letting go because it trains us to live with awareness, free from the constraints of our emotional history. Daily mindfulness practices, simple, everyday mindfulness techniques for emotional release. Mindfulness doesn't have to be a complex practice. In fact, it's often most effective when integrated into your daily life. Here are simple mindfulness techniques you can use throughout your day to release emotional baggage. 1. Mindful breathing. Start by focusing on your breath. Take deep, slow breaths, and pay attention to the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. When thoughts arise, simply notice them and return your focus to your breath. This simple practice helps ground you in the present moment and can clear mental clutter. 2. Body scan meditation. This technique involves mentally scanning your body from head to toe, paying attention to any areas of tension or discomfort. By tuning into the physical sensations of your body, you can begin to release emotional blockages stored within your muscles and tissues. This practice is especially useful for relieving stress. 3. Mindful walking. Take a walk, whether indoors or outdoors, and focus solely on the act of walking. Notice the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your movements, and the environment around you. With each step, let go of any stress or negative thoughts you are holding on to. The power of meditation, how meditation can help clear mental clutter and create space for emotional healing. Meditation is a powerful practice that enhances mindfulness by allowing you to create a space of stillness in your mind. By setting aside dedicated time for meditation, you create a safe mental space to process and release emotional clutter. Meditation helps quiet the mind and provides clarity, so you can more easily identify the emotions that need to be let go. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes of meditation each day. Sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes, and focus on your breath or a calming mantra. Allow any thoughts or emotions to arise without judgment, and let them pass like clouds in the sky. Over time, meditation trains your mind to release attachments and judgments, enabling you to approach emotions with greater ease and acceptance. Living in the now, practical exercises for staying present and reducing the urge to dwell on past hurts. Living in the now is one of the most effective ways to let go of past hurts. When we stay focused on the present, we free ourselves from the weight of what has already happened. Here are some exercises to help you live more fully in the moment. 1. Grounding techniques. Whenever you feel yourself drifting into past memories or future worries, use grounding techniques to bring your attention back to the present. One simple method is the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. 5. Name 5 things you can see. 4. Name 4 things you can touch. 3. Name 3 things you can hear. 2. Name 2 things you can smell. 1. Name 1 thing you can taste. This technique helps shift your attention to the present moment, breaking the cycle of overthinking and emotional attachment to the past. 2. Mindful eating. During meals, pay full attention to the experience of eating. Notice the taste, texture, and temperature of your food. By focusing on the act of eating, you can practice being present and release any emotional baggage associated with stress or anxiety. Chapter 7: Forgiveness as a Tool for Release. What forgiveness really means, demystifying forgiveness and dispelling myths. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. People think forgiveness means condoning or excusing hurtful behavior, but it's not about letting others off the hook. Forgiveness is about releasing the grip that resentment, anger, and pain have on your heart. It's a personal decision to free yourself from the burden of holding on to negative emotions, regardless of what others have done. Forgiveness is a process that can take time, but it is one of the most liberating actions you can take. When you forgive, you stop allowing past hurts to control your present and future. It doesn't mean you forget or erase the pain, but rather that you choose not to let it define you. The emotional blockage of unforgiveness, how holding on to grudges hurts the individual more than the other person. Unforgiveness is like holding on to a hot coal, waiting to throw it at someone else. In reality, you are the one who gets burned. Holding on to grudges causes emotional and physical stress, increases anxiety, and even lowers immune function. It ties you to the past and prevents you from moving forward. By refusing to forgive, you keep yourself emotionally shackled to the person or situation that hurt you. It is a form of self-punishment that only deepens your pain. The true act of strength comes in releasing the anger and choosing peace over resentment. Steps to forgiveness, guided exercises and steps for forgiving yourself and others. Forgiveness is a process, and it starts with a decision. Here are steps you can follow to begin the healing process of forgiveness. 1. Acknowledge the hurt. Recognize and name the pain or harm you have experienced. Give yourself permission to feel those emotions, and don't rush to forgive until you have fully processed the hurt. 2. Understand the impact. Consider how holding on to this hurt has affected your life. How has it shaped your relationships, your emotional state, and your future? Understanding the impact of unforgiveness can help you see the necessity of releasing it. 3. Empathize with the other person. Forgiveness is easier when you try to understand the perspective of the other person. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior, but it can help you release the grip of anger. Everyone has their own struggles and reasons for their actions. 4. Choose to let go. Make a conscious decision to release the anger and hurt. Visualize cutting the emotional cord that ties you to the person or event, and let go of the pain associated with it. 5. Practice self-compassion. Forgiving yourself is just as important as forgiving others. Be kind to yourself during this process, and remember that it's okay to take your time. The benefits of forgiveness: physical, emotional, and spiritual benefits of letting go through forgiveness. Forgiveness brings numerous benefits, including physical health. Forgiveness lowers stress, reduces blood pressure, and improves heart health. Emotional peace. Letting go of resentment frees up emotional space for love, joy, and peace. Spiritual growth. Forgiveness aligns you with compassion and understanding, helping you grow spiritually. Case studies and stories. Real-life examples of people who have experienced the power of forgiveness. Consider the story of Sarah, who struggled with forgiving her father for abandoning her as a child. For years, she carried the weight of resentment, which affected her relationships and self-esteem. After going through a forgiveness process, Sarah was able to release the pain and build healthier, more loving relationships. The act of forgiveness freed her from the past and gave her a sense of peace she had never experienced before. Chapter 8: Journaling for Emotional Clarity. The healing power of writing, how journaling helps untangle emotions and clarify thoughts. Journaling is a powerful tool for emotional release and self-reflection. When we write, we give ourselves permission to express our feelings without fear of judgment. Writing helps untangle the emotions that we often suppress, bringing clarity and insight into our inner world. It serves as a mirror, reflecting our thoughts and feelings back to us, allowing us to see things from a new perspective. Journaling creates a safe space for you to explore your emotions and let go of the past. Whether you're venting your frustrations or expressing gratitude, writing allows you to process your thoughts and release them in a constructive way. Guided journaling prompts, specific prompts for letting go of the past and processing emotions. Here are a few journaling prompts that can help you release emotional baggage. 1. What emotions are you currently holding on to that you need to release? 2. Write a letter to someone who has hurt you, expressing your pain. Don't send it, just write it to release the feelings. 3. What are the lessons you've learned from past hurts? How have they shaped who you are today? 4. Write about a time you forgave someone. How did it make you feel? What shifted for you afterward? Expressive writing for catharsis. How to use free writing to release pent-up emotions. Free writing is an unfiltered form of journaling where you write whatever comes to mind without worrying about grammar, punctuation, or structure. It is a form of emotional catharsis, allowing you to release pent-up emotions and thoughts that have been stored within. By setting a timer for 10 to 15 minutes and writing continuously, you can let go of the mental clutter that holds you back. Creating a daily writing ritual. How to incorporate journaling into your daily life for emotional release and healing. To make journaling an effective tool for emotional release, set aside time each day to write. Whether it's in the morning or before bed, create a ritual that works for you. Consistent journaling allows you to track your emotional progress and gain deeper insights into your journey of letting go. By incorporating mindfulness, forgiveness, and journaling into your life, you gain the tools to let go of what no longer serves you. These practices are transformative and can help you untangle your heart, releasing emotional blockages and making space for healing and growth. Part 4. Embracing the freedom of letting go. Chapter 9. Living a life of detachment. What detachment really is, embracing the difference between healthy detachment and emotional numbness. Detachment is often misunderstood. When most people think of detachment, they imagine shutting down emotionally or becoming cold and indifferent. But true detachment is not about numbing yourself or cutting off from the world. Rather, it's about creating emotional space, allowing yourself to engage with life without becoming overly attached to outcomes or possessions. Healthy detachment is about releasing the need to control everything and being able to experience life as it is, without excessive attachment or resistance. This form of detachment empowers us to experience joy, love, and growth without being entangled in emotional reactions that prevent us from living freely. It's a state of emotional resilience that allows us to feel deeply but not let our emotions dominate our well-being. In contrast, emotional numbness is a defense mechanism that pushes us away from our feelings altogether. Healthy detachment, on the other hand, helps us interact with the world in a balanced and conscious way. Finding balance in letting go. How to navigate the line between attachment and healthy release. The challenge lies in finding the balance between attachment and detachment. Attachments are part of human life. They help us form relationships, pursue goals, and find meaning. However, when attachments turn into unhealthy obsessions or dependencies, they prevent us from living freely. This can lead to emotional distress, possessiveness, or even fear of loss. To navigate this line, it's important to examine the purpose and impact of your attachments. Are they empowering you or limiting you? Are they allowing you to grow, or are they holding you back? By assessing your attachments with self-awareness, you can begin to let go of what is no longer serving you while still nurturing what brings joy and growth into your life. Healthy detachment is about choosing where to invest your emotional energy. It's about embracing relationships, passions, and goals without allowing them to define your sense of self-worth. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop depending on the outcome for your happiness. Living with open hands, embracing impermanence and allowing life to flow through you. One of the core aspects of detachment is learning to live with open hands. We often hold tightly to things, whether it's people, material possessions, or even expectations, because we fear losing them. But the truth is that life is constantly changing. Impermanence is a fundamental part of the human experience, and when we resist it, we create unnecessary suffering. Living with open hands means accepting that nothing is permanent. This doesn't mean you can't enjoy or appreciate the things you have, but rather that you understand their transience. By accepting that change is inevitable, you open yourself to the flow of life. When you hold things loosely, you allow them to come and go freely without the anxiety of losing them. Embracing impermanence can be liberating. It frees you from the constant fear of change and opens up space for new experiences, people, and opportunities to enter your life. Life flows through you more freely when you stop clinging to what is temporary. Cultivating gratitude, how to appreciate what you've released and embrace the unknown. Letting go often requires us to release things we've held dear, whether it's a relationship, a dream, or an old version of ourselves. It can be difficult, but it also offers a unique opportunity for growth. One of the most powerful ways to ease the process of letting go is by cultivating gratitude. Gratitude is a transformative practice that shifts our focus from what we've lost to what we've gained. Instead of lamenting what we no longer have, gratitude encourages us to appreciate the lessons and growth that came from those experiences. When you let go of something, take time to reflect on what it taught you and the ways it helped you become who you are today. Additionally, embracing the unknown with gratitude opens up space for new possibilities. When you let go of the past, you make room for the future. You release the fear of uncertainty and step into a new chapter of your life with an open heart, ready to embrace whatever comes next. Becoming a new you, how letting go opens up new opportunities for growth, love, and happiness. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for new possibilities. Letting go is not just about releasing the old, it's about making room for the new. This process allows you to evolve and become a new version of yourself, one that is more aligned with your true desires, passions, and values. As you release attachments to the past, you also release the limiting beliefs and fears that have held you back. You begin to step into your full potential and embrace opportunities for growth, love, and happiness that were once out of reach. This transformation is empowering and exciting. By letting go, you reclaim your personal power and open yourself to new experiences that can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life. Letting go also allows you to experience love in a deeper way. When you are not attached to outcomes or expectations, you can engage in relationships with a sense of freedom and authenticity. Love becomes a flowing energy that moves between you and others without the weight of possessiveness or control. Chapter 10: The Art of Releasing Expectations. Expectations as barriers, how unrealistic expectations limit personal growth. Expectations are a powerful force in our lives. While having goals and aspirations is important, holding on to unrealistic expectations can create barriers to personal growth. Expectations are often rooted in the belief that we know how things should unfold, and when life doesn't meet those expectations, we feel disappointed, frustrated, or disillusioned. Unrealistic expectations can cause us to overlook the beauty of the present moment. They keep us focused on an idealized version of how things ought to be, rather than appreciating life as it is. This fixation on outcomes can prevent us from embracing the journey and learning from the process. The key to releasing expectations is to replace them with intentions. Intentions are focused on how you want to feel or the direction you want to head, without dictating a rigid path or timeline. When you shift from expectation to intention, you open yourself up to new opportunities and experiences, free from the pressure of perfection. Learning to let go of the shoulds, how societal pressures and self-imposed expectations affect emotional well-being. The pressure to meet societal expectations or live up to others' shoulds can be overwhelming. We are constantly told how we should look, what we should achieve, and how we should behave. These external pressures create a narrative that we must follow in order to be successful or worthy, and they limit our ability to embrace our authentic selves. Letting go of the shoulds is an act of self-liberation. It requires you to release the idea that you must live up to a set of arbitrary standards and, instead, define your own path. By letting go of these expectations, you make space for true self-expression and fulfillment. You begin to live in alignment with your own values, not with what others dictate. Letting life unfold, how to surrender the need for control and allow life to lead you. The need for control is deeply ingrained in many of us. We believe that by controlling our environment, relationships, and circumstances, we can create a sense of safety and certainty. However, this constant need to control can actually create stress and anxiety. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control everything only leads to frustration. Letting go of the need for control means surrendering to the flow of life. It involves trusting that things will unfold as they should, even if they don't follow the plan you've envisioned. This doesn't mean becoming passive or inactive. It means accepting that you cannot control everything and learning to respond with grace when things don't go according to plan. Trusting the process, developing faith in the flow of life, and trusting that things will unfold as they should. Trusting the process requires faith. It's about believing that life is unfolding in its own way, even if you can't always see the bigger picture. It's about letting go of the need to micromanage every detail and allowing things to happen in their own time. When you trust the process, you shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. You let go of the fear of missing out or not getting what you deserve. Instead, you trust that everything is happening for your highest good, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. Living with flexibility, adapting to life's twists and turns while maintaining inner peace. Life is full of twists and turns, and the ability to adapt is essential for maintaining inner peace. Flexibility means being open to change, whether it's in your plans, your goals, or your relationships. When you embrace life's unpredictability, you free yourself from the burden of trying to control every aspect of your life. Adapting to life's changes with grace and ease is a practice that comes with experience. It involves cultivating resilience, patience, and trust in the process. By living with flexibility, you can remain at peace, no matter what challenges life throws your way. In these chapters, we have explored the art of releasing expectations and living with detachment. These practices free you from the limitations of attachment and unrealistic demands, allowing you to flow more freely with life's natural rhythm. Through embracing detachment, flexibility, and the art of letting go, you can create a life of peace, freedom, and profound growth. Conclusion: a new chapter begins. As you reach the end of this book, you've taken a significant step toward untangling the emotional knots that have been holding you back. Letting go is not a one-time event but a lifelong journey. Each chapter has offered you tools and practices to help release what no longer serves you, whether that's past hurts, unrealistic expectations, or attachments to outcomes. As you apply these practices, you will begin to experience a transformation, one that leads to greater emotional freedom, clarity, and peace. Embracing the journey of letting go. The process of letting go is both powerful and liberating. It's about creating space for new possibilities and allowing yourself to be present in each moment. By releasing the emotional baggage and outdated beliefs that have weighed you down, you allow your heart and mind to open. You will notice that with each layer you release, you become lighter, freer, and more aligned with your true self. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but with patience and dedication, you will begin to experience a profound sense of inner peace and joy. Words of encouragement. Remember, letting go is not an easy task, and there will be times when you feel tempted to hold on to the past or revert to old patterns. It's important to be gentle with yourself through this process. Know that this journey is a continuous one, and every step forward is a victory. There will be setbacks, but they are not failures, they are simply part of the growth process. Be kind to yourself as you navigate the ups and downs, and remember that each moment of release brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. Invitation to action. Take a deep breath and start with the first step. Reflect on the tools and practices you've learned throughout this book: mindfulness, forgiveness, detachment, and the power of journaling, and begin to apply them in your life. Choose one small area where you can let go and practice releasing. Whether it's a lingering grudge, an unfulfilled expectation, or a past hurt, taking that first step toward release will set you on a path to emotional freedom. Final words of wisdom. The beauty of letting go lies in the freedom it brings. When you release what no longer serves you, you create space for love, growth, and new opportunities. Letting go allows you to embrace life as it is, without the burden of emotional baggage, and opens the door to living with open hands, an open heart, and an open mind. Trust that by untangling your heart, you are making way for a brighter, more fulfilling future. Resources for continued growth. This journey does not have to be undertaken alone. For continued growth, consider exploring further reading on emotional healing and personal development. Books such as The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer, Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach, and Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by David R. Hawkins can offer deeper insights into emotional release. Additionally, support groups or therapy can provide a space to share your experiences and receive guidance as you continue your journey. Remember, you are not alone, and every step you take brings you closer to the freedom and peace you deserve. As you let go, a new chapter begins, one of infinite possibility, growth, and emotional liberation. Thank you for listening to this audiobook. If you like this book, please share and subscribe to this channel for getting more exciting audiobooks on this channel.